All right, Capricorn, welcome to November. How are you? This is a reading for you for November 2025. I highly recommend you watch your rising sign because that is how I'm looking at the astrology to talk about which parts of your life may be impacted by the cycles that we're dealing with. So check that out. You can watch these signs for these readings for sun sign and moon sign, but it's meant for rising signs, okay? All right, so let's see what's going on, especially if you're drawn here by the title, then heck, if it's your sun sign, your intuition prevails. All right, so let's see what's going on for Capricorn. You've got a lot of energy in that 11th house, 5th house axis this month. 11th house is Scorpio for you, and 5th house is Taurus. And we have a full moon in Taurus. We also have Uranus moving back into Taurus this month. And Taurus in the 5th house is your creative expression. And through the energy of Taurus, it's sort of like, I create what makes me feel good and loved. Okay. And this can be also around children. It can be around romance or anything like that. The opposite house is the 11th house, and that is the house of hopes and dreams. And it's also around your social circles, your network, and who you deal with. In Scorpio, we have a new moon later in the month, and then we also have Mars and Mercury who are moving out of Scorpio into Sagittarius, 12th house karma, okay? Mercury is going to go retrograde this month, and it's going to back up into your 11th house of hopes and dreams. So there's something here about a reset, okay? There's something here about a reset, especially as it relates to the people you hang out with or the groups you hang out with. You might be getting some kind of big contracts or big dreams coming true because of the networks you're choosing to hang out with. But with a retrograde, you got to make sure to read the contract 4 or 5 times. Don't just read it once, okay? There's definitely something here. Scorpio is about loyalty tests. So just be careful about that, okay? That if you're getting some kind of new work or new, new connections being made, things like that, that there's a loyalty test that follows. So you're just going to want to pay attention. All right. There's a lot more to the month, but I'll talk more about it in the second half of this reading. And as we go through, maybe I'll mention some more. Oh, yeah, look at this. Karmic path. You have Sagittarius in your 12th house. And like I said, we have Mars moving in there. And Mars does like Sagittarius because it's a fellow fire sign. But Mars is also about taking action to clear some kind of karma. All right, clear some kind of karma, change some kind of bad habit that you have. You now have the energy to do that. 12th house is hidden. Okay, 12th house in many ways is things going on behind closed doors. 3 houses share that distinction. 12th house, 8th house, 4th house. All of them have a certain degree of privacy to them, things that you kind of keep to yourself. And so this can be actions you're keeping to yourself, Mars, right? Actions you're keeping to yourself about your life and what you want to do. You could be leaving a group of friends or a collective that no longer serves you. Could be leaving an old dream behind. Mercury retrograde is going to revisit that a little bit for you, though. Okay. Meditate. Friendship. 11th house. And the earth. Some of you have a friend group or a social circle that you travel in that is directly related to your money. You might have noticed this, that Aquarius is in your 2nd house of how you make money. And we have Pluto there for the next 20 years. So how you're going to be making money is going to be, of course, that's true for all of us, but particularly true for you. And with Pluto sitting in that 2nd house, Pluto drags us through the underworld. So there can be some kind of like aha awakening moment that says, I can no longer make money the way I used to because I don't feel it aligns with my values anymore. I'm going to need to change that. And so over the next 20 years, it is slow. It is soul transformation in terms of what you value and how that shows up in your money your resources. You could feel like, and this is just a very, kind of off the cuff idea, but like that 11th house, the house of people that you hang with, if that changes, your hopes and dreams change. There's something about your money changing too, and how you feel about that. Maybe you're doing something right now that you didn't think was really that big a deal, and now it becomes very unsavory to you. I don't like this anymore. I don't like what this company does anymore. I don't like what I'm doing anymore. And you might need to clear some past life karma around that. Mars taking action in that 12th house. So let's see here. 2 of Wands, the 6 of Wands. Here's creative expression with the Queen of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. Oh, looky here. The 5 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. I'm just going to say this may be only for a few of you. If some of you are being offered a creative job, and the job you normally have that makes you a lot of money or whatever collapses or is like no longer a thing. Let's just say it that way. It's like no longer a thing. Why are you not going towards your creative dream? Right? If you're like, well, I spent all this time being a blacksmith and, actually it's not really that, it's not really sustaining us anymore. Or it's burning me out, or it's no longer a thing. Okay. In, every town had a blacksmith because everybody was using horses, and now we're not using horses anymore. So this whole blacksmith idea might not be a great career path for me moving forward. There's definitely something about you kind of flying in the face of the collective a little bit on this. So it's possible, because Aquarius is very future oriented, and how you make money is very future oriented. You might be thinking like, I got to get myself into a new position here. Like you might be seeing what's happening in a bigger picture sense, which is very Aquarian. And Capricorn in the first house and Aquarius in the second house, both ruled by Saturn, traditionally ruled by Saturn. We do have Saturn in, let me see here. I want to look at your, oh yeah. Okay. Saturn is back in Pisces, Saturn and Neptune. And that's your third house of what's right around you. Some of you may be moving next year in order to align yourself more with a career that will be fruitful. And the thing, like you might live in a part of the country or part of the world where it's aligned with the kind of career that you had that's kind of falling away. And it's time to go where the work is. And I feel like this is a very joyful thing for you. I feel like it's a very, really awesome thing, and it'll change your social networks. It'll change, and it's leaning more into a creative direction. So good on you. Keep your eyes open. This is not going to be fast, I don't feel, because it's Pentacles. It can be a lot slower. But you have stayed in this current situation because other people have needed you. It's time to really think about yourself, maybe about your immediate family. Okay, instead of like, well, this company needs me, it'll collapse without me or whatever, which is probably true since you're a Capricorn. But you might just be like, yeah, it's collapsing anyway. So I got to go. I got to move. Knight of Pentacles, that's Virgo energy. King of Wands. So King and Queen of Wands here, very creative power couple. The Sun, Leo energy. All right. So Leo is in your 8th house. I have my notes down here about your chart. So Leo is in your 8th house. That's the house of death and transformation. And I feel like you're going in a much more creative, less arduous direction. What you have been doing has been like, think of it this way. It's like going from working hourly, and so the only way to make more money is to expend more hours, into something that's more creative, that has to do with, it might take you hours and hours to write a song, but then every time you perform it, it brings joy and happiness to people. It brings you great gigs. It brings you, you know what I'm saying? It's like a renewable resource, as opposed to hours, which are very linear. It's kind of very 20th century to look at working hourly right now. And as we move forward, I feel like more and more people are going to be embracing that idea of moving away from that. The Three of Cups, there's the friend group. Ooh, devil energy. And the Six of Cups. Some of you are going back to the future, back to old friend groups, high school friends, college friends. This kind of social networking is going to be the way forward. Okay. Yes. Eight of Cups and the Six of Wands. Well, it's actually Six of Swords. It's moving forward. Three of Wands. Woo! Tower. I feel like you get out of something just before the tent collapses. You are called to go in a certain direction. You may not see the correlation of these two things, but like you go in your creative direction and you kind of look back, like you're moving along here. Eight of Cups. The people, the devil energy is your Capricorn energy. And so there's people who kind of stay in this old situation too long. I feel not you, other people in your friend group. What is this about? The Three of Cups and the Devil card here. Gossip. Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. So you have put a lot of time and effort into going in a new direction. And I feel like people are jealous because they sort of just, well, nothing's ever going to, whatever. I'm just going to continue to work in this job that I have because, the world isn't changing at all right now. And nothing is good. This industry is going to be here forever and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, oh, that's really not true. Okay. You see the truth. You see about investing your time and energy in something that is going to be more future focused. Ace of Swords. It's time to really, you might be proclaiming that far and wide, but I doubt these friends are listening, which is why this friend group might be changing. Okay. So Mars and Mercury and Scorpio in that 11th house, and you're moving Mars going into the 12th house of Sag, and Mercury doing that as well. And then Mercury going retrograde. So it's like you come back around to this group of people, but I feel like that's after this tower. Okay. Talk to me about the tower. You know what you're doing. You do. If that's the only reason you're watching this reading, that you need to know that you're doing the right thing, I'm going to make that the title. Okay. You're doing the right thing. Too many cards. I see the Three of Swords there though. You might be sad of a loss of people that you work with, but what is this? So okay, Cancer. We have Jupiter in Cancer in your opposite sign, in the 7th house. And that can be, Jupiter is going into retrograde this month. It's going to be retrograde into 2026. And so there might be a sense of pulling back in terms of how much you give to a partner, maybe financially or something. What's the Tower here? Wow. Judgment card, Five of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the Justice card. So justice and judgment, like this is what's supposed to happen. You move away. You might be physically moving away or taking action to get out of a certain career path. And it's like everybody thinks you're a little bit loony, a little bit like you don't know where you're going, but you do. And then there's this Uranus moving back into Taurus has, I can say this to Capricorns because y'all are very level-headed. I feel that there's, and it isn't a fellow earth sign. And Taurus is about, what makes us feel safe and comfortable. I feel like that's getting upended. There's something getting upended. What's making you feel safe and comfortable has already kind of shown up. So there's a sense of like, this career path, I used to feel very stable and solid in it. I used to feel very comfortable, but I'm now seeing I don't like what's happening here. And so I'm going to, you may not put the two things together right away, that you're going towards something more creative for yourself. And then you look back and the old thing goes away. There's no more job there. So you're like, wow, did I intuit that was going to happen? Yes, I think you do. And there's a lot of people who get harmed by not being aligned with their intuition right now. And you, ruled by Saturn, are very, very well practiced. Okay? Very well practiced in terms of the direction you're going in. So you stay just long enough at certain places. It may look like, at the end of the day, you look back and you're like, wow, really looks like I knew what I was doing. And maybe at the time you're kind of like, I don't know, but this is what I feel drawn towards, so I'm going to do it. It's very good use of your intuition. And I feel like when things blow up, when Uranus moves back into Taurus and something gets upended, you see it like it's something about your behavior, like you knew it was coming. You're on the right path and you know this is coming. And so you're kind of like, well, I don't know why, but I'm just going to move in this direction. And you're proven right. Okay, so let's keep going with this reading. I want to look and see what you don't see coming. Let's see about the next 30 days. Let's get some advice for you, and we'll see how this comes out. All right, Capricorn, if you want to continue on to the second half of this reading, there's a link below. I will see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.